So let's talk about NFTs. I've been studying this new realm new to some, not new to everybody. For the last month and a half, I've been fully engaging in it. So I'm a noob, so I'm going to give a noob perspective on it. But for most people, they don't even know what this is yet, and it's primarily, I think it's community and investment property and art all rolled into one. It's a new realm for artists to expand their work and for fans of the artist to come together with the artist and also monetize and support and create together. I think it opens up many avenues of collaboration previously unavailable. And primarily I've just been in the OpenSea profile picture realm, collecting and making mistakes and getting an expensive education on how all this operates. And my education is incomplete, but it's expanding, and I want to launch my own. One of the most interesting projects in the space is this one called the Phunks, which is CryptoPunks but facing the other way. It's interesting because it's challenging the status quo, it's challenging the power structures, it feels vital, and like punk rock, it has this community spirit that's purpose-driven. It has purpose-driven motivation as opposed to just motivation to make a buck. It also obviously has that kind of potential too, and that fuels it as well. But more than a lot of other projects, it has this sense of purpose to upend the status quo and to save the NFT landscape from falling into the same power traps that say the music business has fallen into, or Hollywood, or structures that get corrupted by power, which, the NFT marketplace is certainly falling victim to. I think a lot of people complain about OpenSea, and I'm new to this, so I don't understand all the ins and outs of it, but what I'm ascertaining by being involved in the community of the Phunks, going to their talks on Twitter, being in the Discord chats, the thing about it is you get involved in these communities of vital people, interesting people. So for people that don't know about what NFTs are, that's something to think about. It's an invitation into communities. So if you find a vital community, the chances are that asset will be much more valuable than a community that isn't really energized. And like Joe Dispenza talks about the different kinds of motivation, purpose-driven motivation being the number one form of motivation versus money-driven motivation is kind of a weaker form of motivation. And you can feel the different motivations within the communities. And there's always creativity, or there usually is creativity. There's a lot of these projects have utility tokens, and they can earn passive income, although you're not supposed to call it passive income. It's just a utility token that exists in the structure of that particular NFT's ecosystem. But the Phunks have been kicked off of OpenSea, which has empowered them to a large degree because they ended up making their own website called Not Larva Labs, which is a spin-off of the CryptoPunks website, Larva Labs. I think Larva Labs threatened to sue them, or I don't really know. DCMA, is that what it's called? All this resistance has empowered them. And what's interesting too is the NFT landscape embraces derivatives. So the fact that this derivative, this obvious derivative, has received such a volatile kickback from the powers that be leads people to believe that it's a vital threat, which actually increases its value. So in a way, they've created a monster by resisting it so much, or like resistant winds, which give a plane its flight. Anyway, I wrote a little poem, Phunks versus Phunks, and the soul of the NFT revolution. One of the most exciting things happening now in the NFT space is the flip of crypto punks, those digital beings facing right, which have become status symbols of the modern age. Visa bought one. They sell them at Christie's for astronomical money, and are the property of the elite. In a culture that claims ultimate freedom and decentralization as its benchmarks, the NFT space seems to embrace copycat projects. Derivatives fall or die by their own merits here, and if they succeed, then they become blue chips, along with whatever projects spawn them. This is no different than music, really, or painting, or anything else. Good artists borrow, great artists steal. We've been quoting that since Led Zeppelin and before. That brings us to crypto funks. In a land where obvious derivatives are not only accepted but often embraced, this project has created a controversy and been banished in ways only real threats ever are. I suppose the claim would be that simply by flipping an existing image, by making it face left instead of right, that is not enough to call it original. But who makes these rules? Who decides what is correct in the wild west of NFTs? Especially when their message is focused and drawn up like a revolutionary line in the sand. One that states, you don't get to own this space. You don't get to keep freedom out of our reach. Or is that freedom spelled with a PH? It is the essence of punk, effortless, stupid, smart, revolutionary, accidental, and on purpose, all at the same time. It's Duchamp's toilet on a museum wall. It's Warhol's soup can. As I write that, I think, but wasn't that the original crypto punk? And maybe it was, but that spirit of revolution moves and changes. It jumps from ship to ship, and it abhors power and influence. It always finds its way in the lap of the underdog, far from the big wig who launched it and got used to riding in first class. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts, absolutely. The Phunks may soon become the corruptive force they've rallied against with the success they are having. But this is an interesting moment in NFT history, as short as that is. A year ago today, you could have gotten an original punk for around what you could get a funk for now. Soon the most viral project out there may be locked out of open sea with a marketplace all its own. The powers that be have created a potential monster and not only shot themselves in the foot, but maybe in the face. Because now we see that it can be done. True independence without dues or fees or kissing anyone's ass. And as far as originality is concerned, facing the other way makes all the difference in the world. Yeah, so that's kind of maybe not a poem, but an essay. But anyway, the space of NFT is brand new. It's an interesting world. It's an interesting time to be alive. They call it Web 3, a redefining of the internet, I guess, and you know what digital ownership means and is going to become. People like to own things. When people are like, I don't get it. Why would a JPEG be valuable? It's a little bit of a leap, but we exist more and more in our phones. We exist more and more in the metaverse, and out here in the real world, in the world of bridges and grass, we can own things. I got this brand new bike right here behind me. I get to own that. What a badass machine that is. No one gets to own this lighthouse. That's the only lighthouse in all of Manhattan. but I get to own the ride up here and making a video for y'all. But anyway, people want to own stuff in the digital realm, so it's that simple. We're going to exist in the metaverse, at least part-time. And I don't know, man. We all missed out on crypto punks. And somehow bubbling like a mirrored version, facing them directly, saying, I don't know if I like what you've become. Now we have crypto Phunks. And you have a chance to get inside the revolution. Peace.